Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name's Shamash and I'm going to be teaching over the next 21 days how to cultivate mindful habits. We're going to be focusing on the work of BJ Fogg and other researchers in the area of behavior change. And so today, to understand the basics of behavior, I'm going to be teaching you the elements. And the things we're going to be learning today are not just applicable to mindfulness, they can be applied to everything. So I'm going to start with a fantastic equation that BJ Fogg has discovered called the Fogg behavior model. And it starts with B, which explains all behavior is just made up of three elements coming together. First of all, M, which stands for motivation. You need to have a certain level of motivation to do behavior. If you're not motivated, you're not going to do the behavior. But there's more to it than just motivation. And that is A, ability. Because even if you have high motivation, let's say you're highly motivated to speak Japanese, if you don't know how to speak Japanese, it doesn't matter how much motivation you have, you're not going to be able to do it. And you can apply the same thing for meditation. You could be highly motivated to practice meditation, but if you haven't practiced it before or you're not very experienced, it's going to be really hard. So the ability to do the activity is a really important element in all behavior. Now, you can be highly motivated and you can have the ability to do an action, but it still doesn't happen without one more element, which is really interesting. And that is P, which is prompt. You need a prompt. You need a reminder to remind you to do the action, no matter whether the prompt is external. So it could be a notification on your phone, someone reminding you, or it could be, that after you brush your teeth, for example, you wash the toothbrush. It's one thing that reminds you to follow the other. Or it could be internal. It could be to do with the feeling, like the feeling of boredom could be a prompt for you to reach out for a social network, for example. Or feeling confused about something, you may go to a search engine like Google. So that's the prompt. So all behavior explains this, and we're interested in mindfulness. So to cultivate the behavior of practicing a mindfulness meditation, you need to be motivated. Now, your motivation cannot be controlled easily. Sometimes it's high and it's low, but you need to have a certain motivation. You need ability, so you need to know how to do it, or you need to make the meditation very easy and very short. It could be just feeling 1 or 2 or 3 breaths, for example, or just noticing 5 different colors in the room that you're in, or just listening to sounds for 5 seconds. If you make it easy, then you don't need much motivation to do the action, and it's much more likely to happen. And you need a prompt or a reminder. So, in summary, behavior happens when a motivation and ability and a prompt come together. And this is going to be the core of what we're going to be learning over the next 21 days. It's the Fogg behavior model developed by BJ Fogg. And if you watch videos in this series, you will learn more and more about it each day. Leave comments below and we can learn together. And that makes it even more fun. Thanks so much for learning and listening today. Looking forward to being on the journey with you. If you'd like to find out more, then you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. Now, this is an interesting example of eliciting a behavior, inviting you to turn to do a certain behavior. So the behavior requires M, motivation. So you may be a bit more motivated because if you're interested in mindfulness, you may become more motivated because you see that, there's all these books that I've written. And so maybe I know a bit more about mindfulness. So that might motivate you. Ability. Do you know how to subscribe? You need to know how to click the button, or it must be easy to do. If you don't know how to subscribe, if you don't know how to click that button, then you're unlikely to do it. And then a prompt. This is an example of a prompt. I'm reminding you because maybe you want to subscribe, you want to know more about mindfulness, you want it on your YouTube channel, but you weren't reminded. So that's why you find a lot of YouTube videos often remind you at the end. They give you that prompt to remind you to take the action. So start looking around in your day. Motivation, ability, and prompt. Where are they coming together for you to behave in the way that you do? All the actions you do, argues BJ Fogg, every single one, whether it's a good or a bad habit, happens when those three come together. So look out for them and learn from them. Thanks so much for watching, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow for our journey of learning more about behavior.